I just got new units to add to my collection of Tau that I've started now that I'm getting back into Warhammer. I got these 3 stealth suits, which I already primed, a whole set of drones, which I'm only showing you 2 of, 4 Crisis battle suits, and a Cold Star Commander that I love the look of. With the Crisis suits especially, I should be able to have a 1,000 point game soon.
I just played my first game of Warhammer 40k in 17 years and had a ton of fun. I brought 1,000 points of Tau against 1,000 points of Adeptus Custodes and got totally trounced. But the person I was playing with was super nice and really helpful. We only played 2 rounds, but by that point it was pretty obvious which way the game was going to go, and 2 rounds was plenty for me to start relearning the rules. I just played my first game of Warhammer 40k in 17 years and wanted to share the list of 1,000 points of Tau that I used. There's a little more in my box than what I fielded, so don't get confused. I took 2 squads of Fire Warriors, one with the Cadre Fireblade, and used them as breachers. I took 1 3-man unit of Stealth Battlesuits, 3 Crisis Battlesuits led by a Crisis Commander that would stay in Deep Strike, and another 3 Crisis Battlesuits led by a Cold Star Commander who would be my Warlord. Lastly, I took 2 Tetras and gave the Crisis Commander Precision of the Patient Hunter and the Cold Star Commander Exemplar of Kauyu. Let me know what you think of my first list. I just played my first game of Warhammer 40k in 17 years with 1,000 points of Tau. I brought 2 different units of battlesuits, but I don't really know what to do with them to use them well. Right now, I have a Crisis Commander and a Cold Star Commander to go with them, and I just gave them all cyclic ion blasters and shield generators, along with a shield drone and a gun drone. I'd like to vary their loadouts a little bit more so they're more specialized, but I could use some feedback or ideas. Let me know what you think I should do. This is how I'm updating my army list for my 1,000 points of Tau after my first game of 40k. I brought 2 breacher squads into my first game, and I'm going to turn 1 into a strike team to have a little bit more objective control, which I was lacking in game 1. Still not sure whether my Cadre Fireblade should be with my breachers or my strike team. Let me know what you think. My Tetras and stealth suits are staying unchanged. They totally serve their purposes as spotters, but for my Crisis suits, I'm still a little torn. I think my Cold Star squad is going to stay as mid-range harassers with a full loadout of cyclic ion blasters and shield generators, but I might swap plasma rifles in if I'm facing a more elite heavy army. As for my Crisis Commander and his squad, they're going to stay in Deep Strike with cyclic ion blasters and fusion blasters, and all my Crisis suits will have 2 shield drones each. That's what I've got so far. Let me know if you think there's anything else I should do. How much did I spend on my first 40k army? I'm just getting back into the game after 17 years away, and I wanted to get 1,000 points of Tau to start playing. I tried to buy everything secondhand and pre-built on eBay to save myself some time and money. First, I got this lot of units, and I'm not counting the ethereal in the savings because I'm playing Farsight on foot. Then I got a pre-painted strike team, a Cadre Fireblade, a set of 4 Crisis Battlesuits, and I'm calculating the price here as if you could buy them individually. Otherwise, I'd really be saving even more money because you'd have to buy 2 boxes of 3 to get 4. Then I got this Cold Star Commander, the first time I really lost money buying something on eBay. Oops. I'm still counting it as a win though because it's magnetized and I haven't learned to do that yet. And I finished it out by buying some stealth suits and doing my first local purchase, getting 2 Tetras and a squad of breachers. Tetras are out of stock pretty much everywhere, so I'm just using the base price that the Warhammer Scroll used to sell them for. Which means this is the total of what I spent and how much I saved. I didn't know going in that Tau were a pretty expensive army, but I think I came out okay. If you break it down by points, it's quite a bit better than what you get normally. But what do you think? Could I have done better? How do you fix resin minis? I bought these Tetras secondhand and didn't realize until much later that one of them was bent really far out of shape. It looked like the problem was just that the pilot wasn't glued to the chair, but actually the entire bottom of the model was completely misaligned. I could tell some attempts had been made to glue it back together, so I took my X-Acto knife and tried to cut through those pieces to see if that would create a gap that I could then apply some pressure to fit the pieces together properly. It didn't really make much of a difference, so my only other idea was to run the mini under some hot water to try to get the resin to be a bit more flexible, and surprisingly that actually worked. However, even after I forced it back into position, there was still a gap under the pilot, so I decided to green stuff a little cushion underneath him. In the end, after some priming, I think the result turned out pretty good. The break is still pretty visible, but I think I'm just going to try to pass it off as battle damage. If you have a better method, let me know in the comments because I'd love to know.